Or participate in bestiality by having Rin Tin Tin sniff your package and hump your leg. Since I have been right on more than one occasion, I have taken over a certain room in the house, and I call it my web butt room. It has a built-in seat and always has an abundant supply of paper. Okay, seriously, folks. Many of you may not be aware of a campaign to buy physical silver bars or coins to bring down J.P. Morgan. I fully support this measure and ask that all people within the sound of my voice and encourage others as well to go out and buy silver bars and coins and put them away. Not silver certificates, but actual 999 proof silver coins. This campaign has been going on for a few short weeks and is going viral worldwide. The price of silver will go up on demand and unavailability. So I suggest you get in now while you have the chance. The static price has been put up to about 100, and I have heard higher. As of today, I've heard gold going up to 15,000 per ounce in the end of everything, Joe. And if silver holds true at 1/12 the price of gold, we'd be sitting on a literally gold mine. Now, if you're bilingual, I ask that you make videos asking people in your secondary language to purchase silver coins, as this worldwide campaign is just like the NWO is a worldwide play. Bring down the banks and end the tyranny. After all, it's coming, it's needed. Do you want them to choose the time when they're ready and have everything in place? If you're prepared, then you have nothing to worry about. So support Max Kaiser and buy silver coins and bars. It's a nice hedge against inflation, and it's going to help bring down the banksters. And remember, when the web butt barks, the faint of heart should leave the room. Joe, back to you.
The web butt. That's all. That's a good one, John. Folks, without further ado, I'd like to bring on Mel. Mel Fabregas is the host of Veritas, a very popular internet radio show. And Mel, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, very good. We just had Michael Roberts on, I know you're aware of. You just did an interview recently, I think it was with Michael Murphy, correct?
That's correct, last week, actually.
Yeah. And this, what's your take on TSA? I mean, do you fly often?
Well, first of all, hello to you, to Griff, and to your listeners. And I don't fly that often anymore. I used to be in the corporate world where I had to fly almost on a daily basis. But a few days ago, I had to go to L.A. to do a piece for the History Channel. Mm-hmm. And I left the airport here, a local, smaller airport. And one thing before we get to the body scanners, one new trend that you see from TSA. I was sitting in my gate, and I saw something new. So two TSA agents moving in. I saw a lady, an elderly lady in front of me having coffee. They stopped her, and they said, can we take a sample of your coffee? And they had a little computer where they put the sample of the coffee. And the lady was looking at me as if we were in the Twilight Zone. So I thought that was it. Then next to me, there was a mother with a 5-year-old. They came to her, and they asked if they could take a sample of the sippy cup from her 5-year-old.
Oh, my goodness.
Then, of course, on the way back from L.A., it's when the whole body scanning, the UPS plane supposedly coming from Yemen, and I can tell you more if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, no, by all means. Griff, can you believe it? A sippy cup from a 5-year-old.
It's over the line. Hello, Mel. It's good to hear your voice again.
Hello, Griff.
All I can say is, I mean, they'll really stop at nothing. They'll really stop at nothing to program even the youngest, our new citizens, our next generation. The programming is just absolutely crazy. But what was your experience when you went to L.A.?
Well, I got to the airport, and I had no idea that the body scanners were already mandated, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I had to wait for about an hour to an hour and a half, and that's when it really hit me. I thought, my God, it's comply or be punished. I was looking around. Nobody was complaining. Everybody was walking in. I hate to sound condescending, but the whole sheeple attitude was there present. Once after about an hour, I got to the body scanner. I didn't know that you could actually opt out. So I had to go through it. And you said this in the first segment, and I commend you for saying it, because when you go to the doctor and they take an X-ray from you, you have to be wearing your lead protective vest so that you don't get radiated.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there you're standing up unprotected about a minute. You have to stand while they develop or process the image. You have to go backwards as well. Then you have to stand next to it so they can wait and analyze the image.
Oh.
After that, I got a full pat down too. So I got a double whammy that day.
Wow. They patted you down too?
Completely. I felt I don't want to say violated, but I felt dehumanized.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And I would assume, based on their actions, that's really the goal here. It's a power grab, like I was saying the last hour. And isn't it interesting, Griff? This almost has like an Agenda 21 twist to it, doesn't it?
It sure does. It's part of the fascist government takeover of the American people.
You know, think about it. Yeah, we can give our passengers, our citizens, cancer. We can give our citizens, we can sterilize them, and boy, oh boy, we can control them all at the same time. This is great. This is a triple whammy, and we profit from it because all of these big-time ex-government guys like Michael Chertoff just so happen to be in the driver's seat of these companies that manufacture them. I mean, it just can't get any better than this for them. They're living the high life right now. You know, Mel, it's crazy. And I don't know about you or what your opinion of these TSA people are, but I mean, really, I think it was just another way to lower the unemployment numbers. What do you think?
I will tell you. I usually, during my show, I don't give you my opinion. I like to remain neutral, but since you're interviewing me, I will give you my opinion.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think we are definitely turning into another Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know the name Adrian Salbucci.
Yes.
But I spoke to Adrian a couple of weeks ago, the day after I came back, and he said it best. He said, once you enter the airport, once those doors open, you are getting into Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
A surveillance, security state. They completely monitor every move. You go through body scans. You feel intimidated. And you're not free. You don't have that free will again until you're spit out somewhere in New York and you take your cab out there to go home. So my opinion is this. They're going to continue pushing and pushing and pushing. And until we rebel and say enough is enough, it's almost like the game SimCity. You may remember SimCity where you control the population. Well, if people rebel too much, what happens? They put a bomb in an airplane, and they create another false flag event, or they just say, look, this is what happened. You don't want the padding, and you don't want the body scans.
Yeah.
You're going to have biometrics. You're going to have now to have something different, and we'll accept it. We'll be totally complacent and accept it. If we know that's their strategy, we can stop it on their tracks.
That's right. And, I have a special guest here, too. The head of the TSA just showed up. What do you say? Geez, what no. But in all actuality, Mel, think about it. Your analogy is spot on. And why? Because it's really a 21st century of what the Jews went through during the Holocaust when they were stripped of all their clothes and their dignity and forced. Yeah, they walked around naked. And so I mean, it's absolutely the same situation manifested in a 21st century environment, in a high-tech environment.
Absolutely. And all we have to go back, and I always talk about the parallels between Nazi Germany and the United States. They had the Reichstag fire. We had 9/11. They had the Enabling Act. We have the Patriot Act. They had all the surveillance by the SS. We had the TSA. Come on, folks. When are we going to say enough is enough? States are behaving more like federal districts when they should be sovereign. We need to take our states back and tell the federal government to stop. I'm so glad to hear lawmakers in New Jersey and the airport in Orlando take a stand so that they can push back a little bit. But my fear, and I don't want to use the word fear, my suspicion is that they may push back a little bit, but then another false flag event will happen, and they're going to come up with a different strategy, and we're going to lose more and more of our rights.
Right, and which Griff, this is why I say it could very well be a tipping point. You know what I mean? Because this could trigger something very. I think it's already triggered something very serious, but the pushback from the powers that be could most certainly be serious, and in a way too. Think about it. It's like we were talking with Michael. The pilots right now are in negotiations to enact some sort of biometric identification system. Why do you need that if you've already gone through all the background checks to fly the damn aircraft anyway? And isn't it a private airport and a private airplane these people are flying? So what the heck does the government have to do with any of that? What do you think, Griff?
Well, you make a mistake when you try to use logic and reason. The government does not operate like that. The government has agendas, and it makes perfect sense to the government and to the people managing those projects. They have their agendas. But
right.
To the American people, it doesn't make sense. You've got to stop using logic and reason. Look at their agenda. It is Nazi Germany from 1933 after Hitler took over from von Hindenburg, and all the way down to the Youth Corps. Mel, you left the Youth Corps out of that list you were itemizing. That's exactly what Obama did with the Boy Scouts and his Youth Corps, and more similarities. So we're facing a fascist government that's trying to disassemble our country, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. The American people are acting like sheeple, and they say, "What can I do? I can't do anything." Well, maybe it's like the Revolutionary War in this country. Just a handful of people pulled it off in spite of the masses sitting around doing nothing about it. But we're coming into a very, very critical time. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I wouldn't miss it for the world.
And Griff and Joe, I have spoken to people who have told me that in the 70s, we went through a lot of airplane hijacking during people wanted to go to Cuba. All of a sudden, in the 80s, I believe it was Boeing and some other, McDonnell Douglas, they came up with this way to remotely control aircraft so that if in the event of a hijacking, they could take over from any tower. So what happened? Hijacking stopped. So now we have 9/11 with allegedly 19 Arabs with box cutters, when in reality Boeing and the tower could have taken over those planes and landed safely. And you mentioned the pilots. If a pilot wanted to bring down a plane, no matter how many body scan or strip search or invasive padding you do, they can do it without them. So it's ridiculous that they have to go through all that radiation on a daily basis.
No, you're absolutely right. It's ridiculous. And they have complete control of that aircraft, especially now with the reinforced doors and the gun in the cockpit. It makes it really stupid to even think about subjecting them or the passengers themselves to this really intrusive and demeaning violation of our rights. It's really sick. And to be quite honest with you, Mel, if you believe some people can take over aircraft with box cutters, then you got a serious problem. Because I'll tell you what, if I was on that airplane, and I'm speaking, I'm sure, for a lot of Americans out there, I would use my ballpoint pen to put in that guy's throat or something if he pulled a box cutter out, even if it meant I'm getting slashed once or twice.
Right.
I'm doing it because, and I'm not the only one, but that's what I would do. To hell with that plane going down or being hijacked. I mean, if I see a box cutter, get out of here.
And I'm really surprised that now, of course, they changed the utensils, the silverware, the knives and the forks to plastic.
Yeah.
And they haven't stopped people from having a pen. A pen is a weapon as well.
That's right.
But that's a different story. But what I was telling you about airplanes being remotely controlled, if people accepted that fact, that any airplane right now is equipped with the technology that it could be taken over, no matter who's flying it, you would not need TSA. You would not need this surveillance state that we're living in.
That's right. Now there was a series on Fox. I don't know if you're aware of
The Lone Gunman.
The Lone Gunman. Isn't that interesting? In March of that year, they have the Lone Gunman show where the plane is remotely controlled to fly into the World Trade Center. And not 6 months later, here we go. The plane flies into the